Recently, Thomas had an awful fright. It all started when he took Edward's trucks up Gordon's hill, but when he got to the top, they pushed him down the other side.
Please just stop!
This had made the Fat Controller very cross with him. Ever since then, Thomas has been practicing with the trucks and is now more familiar with them. One day, he was having a drink when the Fat Controller arrived.
"Hello there, Thomas," he said. "You've done very well these past few weeks. Why, now you seem to know almost as much about trucks as Edward. I'm very pleased with your progress."
"Thank you, sir," replied Thomas.
"Earlier today, the new engine arrived,"
continued the Fat Controller.
"His name is James, and his first job is to take a goods train. I would like you to go and get his trucks ready."
"No problem, sir. I'll be glad to help him." And with that, Thomas puffed away to find the trucks. He soon collected them and went to meet the new engine at the yards. "Hello, you must be James. Nice to meet you. I'm Thomas." "Hello, nice to meet you too," replied James. "Are these my trucks?" "Yes, I'm shunting them into place for you, but we'll need to take them to the big station." So Thomas brought James to Natford and left his trucks. "Make sure they don't push you down the hill," he warned James. "I had trouble there myself not long ago." "I've already had loads of experience with trucks. They wouldn't dare cause me any bother." Of course, James actually knew nothing about trucks, but he liked having something to boast about, and he often didn't tell the truth.
"Oh, oh, oh!"
screamed the trucks.
"What's going on here then? We want a proper engine, not a black monster."
James ignored them and started as soon as the guard was ready. Come along, he puffed impatiently.
We will not,
screamed the trucks, but James didn't care, and he pulled them steadily out of the station. Meanwhile, Thomas had returned to shunt at Tidmouth. Upon stopping for a rest, he spotted a small coach and two strange things his driver called cranes. "What is that?" asked Thomas.
"Oh, that's the breakdown train," he said to Thomas. "The cranes are used for lifting heavy things like coaches and trucks, and sometimes even engines."
"I'd love to see it in action," thought Thomas to himself. But little did he know, he wouldn't have long to wait. Later, whilst pushing some trucks into a siding, he heard a frantic whistling. "Help! Help!" It was James. He and his goods train came rushing through much too fast. He was very scared that his brake locks were on fire. They're pushing me! They're pushing me!" he panted.
On,
laughed the truck. Still whistling. "Help! Help!" Poor James disappeared. "Oh my, it's happening again!" cried Thomas.
"Oh dear, I just hope James will be all right,"
added his driver. Soon the signalman came down from the box and ran towards Thomas.
"James has derailed. We'll need to take the breakdown train and rescue him quickly."
Thomas was excited. Finally he would have a chance to see how the breakdown train worked, so he ran to fetch it. Thomas tried his hardest.
Hurry, hurry, hurry!
He puffed. This time, he wasn't pretending to be like Gawdry. He really meant it. Those trucks had gone too far with their tricks this time, he muttered crossly. James had crashed into a field where a cow was eyeing him suspiciously. James's driver and fireman were inspecting the damage. "Not to worry," said the driver kindly. "It wasn't your fault. It was those wooden brakes they gave you. We always said they were no good." James felt very silly and worried what all the other engines would think. He felt worse when Thomas arrived. He was worried that he would laugh at him, but Thomas didn't. He left the breakdown crane alongside, and then he pushed the unhurt trucks out of the way. "Oh dear, they moaned. Serves you right, laughed Thomas. He worked tirelessly, puffing backwards and forwards all afternoon. "This'll teach you a lesson, this'll teach you a lesson," he told the trucks. And they answered, "Yes it will, yes it will." They decided not to bother with the broken trucks, and using the two cranes, they carefully positioned James back onto the rails. In no time at all, he was back on the track, but he found it hard to move, so Thomas had to help him back to the shed. The Fat Controller was waiting for him. "Oh no," thought James, "what will he say?" But the Fat Controller was smiling.
Well, James, fancy letting your trucks run away. I am surprised.
"So am I," chuckled Thomas from behind him. "An experienced engine indeed." I'm really sorry, sir," sighed James.
Oh, it wasn't your fault. We'll fix those brakes and give you a new coat of paint."
James was very relieved and grateful. Then the Fat Controller turned to Thomas.
"Thomas, you did very well with the breakdown crane today. You've proven yourself a really useful engine. And as a reward, I'm going to give you a branch line all to yourself."
"Oh, sir!" whistled Thomas happily. Thomas now works on the Farquhar branch line. He has two coaches called Annie and Caroline, puffing proudly backwards and forwards with them all day long. A few days after the opening of the branch, James came back from the works with a new coat of paint. He now works quite happily as a mixed traffic engine, and I'm happy to say he hasn't had any more trouble with trucks. Just yet, anyway. Thomas is never lonely on his new line. Edward and Henry stop quite often to tell him the news. Gordon is always but never forgets to say "hoop hoop." Thomas always whistles "beep beep" in return.